I'm in the I'm in the Durham region. I just have a
Private number.
private number that I have from my Quebec address.
Okay.
I have both.
Okay. So I know, Jonathan, you said you don't have a fixed address. I wanted to know what part of Durham region are you normally in? Is it Ajax? Are you in
Okay.
Oshawa? What
Is there a problem with releasing information on the file right at this time?
No,
Because
I don't
you
know.
got all the information of the previous rental on the file with the ex-warden.
Pardon?
With the ex-warden. He was a warden of a prison. And you got all the information of my previous rental on the file.
Okay, but right now you don't have a fixed address, correct?
Nope.
Yeah, we went over this the last time. We just seem to be doing a cycle. Cycling, repeating.
So, Jonathan, I need to know what area of Durham region you're mostly in so I can
This
figure
is
out how I can get you the reloadable payment card.
this is
Bro. Seriously, she is just asking a reasonable question.
I am in Durham.
Yeah,
I am
he's
in Durham.
What is the best place to get that reloadable card? Like, I can drive him anywhere. I have a vehicle.
Yeah. Do you require mail or what?
Why I'm asking is because then I can make sure.
Can't we just do a pickup?
Transfer the file. Give me 1 second, Jonathan, so I can help you to
Yeah.
get your file up and running.
Okay.
So that I can forward the file to the right office so you can get the most support that you can get.
Yeah, I told you Wendy
So
was good.
that's why- Pardon?
I said to him that you were good. I told
Yeah,
him you were
she
good.
wants to forward me to somebody that works the best. Why can't we just stay with you, Wendy, for now until we get it uploaded?
Because I'm an intake worker, so once I can get your file up and running, you get to transfer to an ongoing worker to help you out because I am doing intake.
Okay, so where are we at with
How
you?
about Jamelia Rimani? How about Miss Rimani? Or
She's currently on leave right now. She was back in Ajax with you, right?
Yeah, that was my first worker. Why don't we set up with her?
But then there's also Kelly.
No, not Kelly, man. She's the one who totally ripped my place apart.
Comfortable in the Ajax area? Because if it is, then I can transfer your file back to the Ajax area.
Oh, yeah.
So that we can get your card, right?
Yeah.
But if you're in the Oshawa area and you're more comfortable with it, then I'll transfer your file there to pick up the card.
No, Ajax. Ajax is where I panhandle, so.
Okay, so Ajax is the office you're gonna be most comfortable with, right?
Yeah.
Well, yeah. I guess comfortable is a good way to put it.
I'm gonna give the Ajax office a call to see how I can get that card ready for you to pick up, okay?
All right, and how much money's on it right now?
Pardon?
How much money's on it right now?
I need to call them first and inquire about it. That's why I'm calling you first to kind of see where I'm gonna reach out to get that information.
Okay, and I get all the months that I couldn't contact you guys because I was stupid, right?
I cannot go back to those period of time, but I can activate it based on our call on Friday. Okay? But
So basically, I'm gonna lose several months.
Well, you can't lose that money. It's there indefinitely, right? So the financial statement of that card should be.
Yeah, but they have
that
little
balances
switches
back
that they put on and off, and I lose the money.
on the card, right? You mean you had money on the card?
There was like
before?
$2,500 on the card.
Okay, so that's why I'm gonna reach out to our financial department to see if I can confirm the information. If there was money on the card, then it'll get transferred over to the new card.
And then our deactivation thing was done on purpose, just like my deactivation of my place during COVID when there was no evictions. But it was deactivated due to non-payment from the emergency worker. I tried to rectify the situation, but we were unable to because I guess she didn't want to print out the check because I had an accident at the hospital.
Anyway,
So can we investigate that?
when you-
Because after that, you cut me off welfare when I needed it the most.
Hold up. So, Wendy, I figure you're going to now contact the Ajax office.
Yes.
Check the
and I will call you
financials.
guys right back.
All right, great. Thank you.
And we're gonna contact the district supervisor to investigate this misconduct as well.
Well, basically, what I figure is that due to the misconduct, those payments dating from November onwards till now's date
Should be active.
should be retroactively paid as well.
And I should receive my place back. My place was taken away by your misconducts within that office. So there was no evictions by law during COVID, but somehow non-payment was made due to an emergency, and no prescriptions were given by the emergency worker, nor were any efforts made by the emergency worker to obtain these prescriptions. And then shortly thereafter, I was kicked out of my place at Christmas in the middle of winter when I couldn't walk. And on top of that, shortly thereafter, my file was cut and I was unable to get it open again after several calls. We just cycled and cycled, just like we did now for the last few weeks.
Okay, but my main
I would like it investigated.
You get the card to access the money on the card.
Yeah, all the money.
If you disagree with any of the decision in terms of when I'm going to be reactivating your card, you can always appeal the decision. But I cannot backdate it till when the file was previously closed. So
Yeah, well, how come you closed my place when there was no evictions?
If there was
Why?
no reason to close the file and it shouldn't have been closed,
Why
in the
can't
first
you
place,
provide that information?
It basically comes under
Misconduct,
no, but it's
criminal
also,
activity.
It's also cruel and unusual punishment, and
the file was closed because we were unable to contact you, Jonathan.
Yeah, after you kicked me out of my place. You kicked me out of my place. You gave me no address to contact. And during a time when there was no evictions by law due to the mass medical emergency, somehow because of a medical emergency at a hospital, in particular an accident that caused zero mobility, somehow I was evicted due to non-payment. And I would like it investigated. And I would like all the paperwork during that time sent to that email.
yeah, how that all happened basically. Like you can understand he's speaking with a louder tone right now.
That's
but
because I'm writing and refuse to send the information.
we'd like to just get that moving forward so that we can investigate the misconduct that occurred, which led to basically an individual being put out in the cold throughout the whole winter.
Without fucking mobility. I couldn't move. I was fucking wrecked in a car accident.
Like, basically, an internal investigation needs to be activated at this point.
Yeah, and we got enough evidence too.
But when you're talking to the Ajax worker, let them know that, like me as the outreach worker, I'm just putting them on notice for that. Like they're aware of it, what's going on. Because I don't want to have to I don't want to have to go through and do a whole court thing and basically
Basically, give me back my place.
I don't want to sue for any of this stuff.
And give me my fucking money.
My ultimately preferred outcome is just that everything gets rectified. He gets his identification medication done now, even though it's been like a long time and there has been a lot
3
of
years.
misconduct occurred. Basically, like if that doesn't happen,
How come it takes 3 years to deal with the emergency worker?
the courts,
Emergency.
anyone.
I thought they specialize in emergencies.
Which is a lot of people in a lot of different organizations will be personally liable as individuals for their misconduct.
And cruel and unusual punishment.
Notwithstanding their title under the organization is not a protection at either. When it comes to common law under English common law, the protection for doing this kind of stuff individual to individual, it's quite serious. So I have a fair bit of experience in that, and I don't want to do it. Basically, this is how orders work. We tell the order, we say what's going on, and then it's basically this is like the niceties. It's like person to person. This is happening. Please rectify it because I don't want to have to escalate. I'm trying to de-escalate right now.
Yeah, and all that's required is full payment for the other part, not the rental part, and then get me back my fucking place because you guys kicked me out because of a medical emergency via non-payment, and your system ordered you to do it apparently.
Whatever the case.
If I go to a hospital, money is paid somehow by the welfare to the fucking hospital or something, and then there's no money for rent. So during an emergency medical procedure, I will not have rent money after that. And it's a policy made by your higher ups to make sure you have to kick me out at Christmas and leave me no mobility, and then you don't provide therapy or medications or anything through the emergency worker who actually specializes in emergencies. But she doesn't want to do any work because she thinks that she can get away with cruel and unusual punishment.
Like unless a person like Mr. Jonathan Drolet has someone like me advocating on his behalf. I mean, often lawyers do this sort of stuff, but they cost a lot of money. Like I'm doing a volunteer basis. My services are free to him. But basically, like an individual like himself in a vulnerable position can just be given the runaround by the system until someone
It's
like
called
myself,
cycling.
Like a paperwork
Cycling.
genius and has done this type of stuff for a long time, comes and takes his case on. So he's kind of lucky in a way, but at the same time, he's been very misfortunate in everything that's happened.
And how long have you been on the case for? Like a month? 3 months. 3 months. We've been trying to deal with this with you guys.
Or any disagreement with any decisions that was previously done previously, an internal review can be requested to be done.
Yeah, we tried that several times. Can you send us over the paperwork?
There is already evidence of misconduct that you don't need to do an internal one at this stage. Like I've told you everything that's happened. You're aware of it. I will not be waiting for your internal investigation to take place.
All we need is the paperwork for the appeal. Just send the
Obviously.
paperwork for the appeal.
I will forward that information over to them.
Yes, thank
And
you.
they will have to take a look because it's not within my realm to do a further review of, like, internal review of the past period.
Yes, but it's your realm.
It's your realm to give us the paperwork for appeal. Can you send over the paperwork for appeal? I want to appeal the decision that's pending.
As well as touch base with that office.
Send us over the paperwork for appeal. We know it hasn't fucking made a decision yet, but we know the decision, and we need the paperwork before the decision. So can you send it over to the email?
I will give you guys a call back once I can get the card confirmed.
Yeah, you're changing the subject. We need just blank paperwork for an appeal.
We just need that document.
You said we have the right to appeal.
Not a problem. I'll take a look into it and see.
No, not take a look into it.
I know
just
how
pull up
your
the
system,
paperwork and send it.
I know how your system works. You basically go into like the web forms part where your paperwork is, and you just send that through.
I want to make sure he gets the card to get the money he needs.
Okay. In the meantime, can you take 2 seconds to click that paperwork over to our email? We spent more time arguing about it than it takes.
But you need to calm down so I can help you to get everything up and running.
All right. Click that little paperwork over to our email.
You can understand his frustration if you refuse to just do something that...
Click that paperwork. I don't know how many times I got to ask. It's actually quicker than me asking.
There is only so much I can do. And
You could have done it. You could have done it in the time of this sentence response. It could have been done.
If you're gonna be screaming or raising your voice at me, I can't.
I'm not screaming. I'm just saying. Get the paperwork done and stop accusing me of screaming at you.
He's just asking simply that you basically send...
Just because I repeat myself repeatedly, like 20 times does not mean I'm screaming at you.
We record these calls as well for training purposes.
And we have a fucking like mic monitor volume level thing too.
And when he says things like a fucking mic monitor, like, right, that's just an adjective referring to another noun. We get hang-ups for stuff like that because people are like, well, you're swearing at me. And actually, technically, they're not. They're just using an adjective referring to another thing. It has nothing, like, negative towards that person. Simply, like, just asking for simple, like...
If you would have just did the task the first time, we wouldn't have to get snitty.
Like, we see on the recording how long we've been sitting on the phone when, like...
Like, how many minutes do we got to talk about this little... what's the paperwork called again? I don't even know.
Like, I don't know.
Appeal
I'm
paperwork.
Sure you're very good at multitasking as well. And, like, while we're having
while
this
we're
conversation,
listening...
like, just scrolling up and clicking and like, okay,
paste and copy,
and then, okay,
and then send it off in the email. Done. You got the email. Like, it actually takes longer to describe the process, eh?
Yeah.
Okay, well, let's ask it again. We're obviously not getting it. Can you send over the email for the application for appeal? Are you not allowed to send it?
I need to find the appropriate one if there hasn't been one.
Oh, just send over the one. There's only two. Just send us both if you're not too sure which one it is. Just send us both.
I think she's got to do a little bit. She's not sure.
She's got to talk. She's got to talk to her superiors and say Rick's being a fuckhead, and he's asking us to do things that we're supposed to do, but I'm having trouble rejecting him.
So I'm going to give you a call back once we figure out the card, and once I look into it further, I'll give you a call as well.
Okay.
Right?
Are you going to do the appeal work?
I will see what forms that needs to be
No.
sent.
Are you going to send over the forms? Yes or no? You told me I have the right to fill out those forms. Are you going to send over those appropriate forms? Yes or no? Not I'll see. Not I have to review it. I have the right to appeal. Are you going to send over the forms?
Like, those forms are just blank paperwork at this point.
Yeah.
You could always write a general letter for...
Like, we're just...
No, we require the paperwork.
Wendy,
why are you redirecting us to a failure?
When we're talking to you.
You're redirecting us to something that will be rejected because step. It's not appropriate paperwork. It's not authorized. You know, why are you rejecting us to something that's just totally guaranteed not to work? We just require the blank paperwork.
Do you want me to look into it or no?
Yes, I would like you to please email me the documentation we require, the application for...
so you got to ask permission to send off those documentations?
I think she doesn't know what forms.
Okay, what are the name of the forms? We'll just pull them offline ourselves and fill them out ourselves. What is the name of it? Because Google has all that shit on the cloud.
Like, if we have to do your work,
like we tried to get you to do the appropriate process, but you seem to be refusing because your management doesn't allow you to do that appropriate process. So we will complete it for you, and when it's complete, we just need somebody there to sign, seal, and deliver it. But I suppose that you're not allowed to do that either. Because the appeal office has to get no appeals. And you're going to put a blockade and a firewall into that process. That's what it seems like. Once again, we're on 50 times. I know, it's real personal information without any details. The paperwork has no details on it. It's very, you know, you're acting like it's personal information and you can't release it. When it has no names on it, it's just blank paperwork.
Wendy, can you please just
send a blank? You don't have to put the name on it.
Continue the call because it's not going anywhere, guys.
She doesn't know what forms are required.
No, she knows what forms. She told us about it.
Do you know what forms are required, Wendy?
Do you know what
forms are required?
Do you know?
I will have... You're appealing the decision of me granting you this date, correct?
Well, we're going to appeal your decision of not sending over the forms, so we need to activate that right now. Are you going to send over the forms, or do we have to appeal? We have the right to appeal.
You do have a right to appeal.
Okay, so send us the forms.
You just send a letter.
Send us the forms.
So if you want the form,
You just told us we have the right to appeal, and the government offices are big on paperwork. So there's obviously a form for it because I have the right to it. But you can't produce that form,
If you do find it, you let me know. But on my
so I have to do your
I
job.
have to find it, and well, you
So he can't do.
have to find it if that's what you need.
All right. So,
If I go with you, I
ca-
won't be able to.
can we
look
just
into
go
it.
through your filing cabinet and pick out the empty form? Like, if you're not gonna give us access, we need to come down to the office, and then you present all the forms. We'll just pull the ones we need. Can we meet down for a pickup of a complete list of all forms?
Well, I can
We'll,
probably
we'll,
give
we'll
you a
just,
grant
can
letter,
you
but
send
then
us
it'll go
the
through
entire
internal review
archive
process
of
for you
forms?
within that letter.
We need all the forms.
Different options right now.
If we need more than one of form, we'll make the
Okay,
appropriate copies
I'm
ourselves.
worn out. You're probably worn out, Wendy. So basically, what you're
We
gonna
need
go.
all
Wendy,
the forms now, Wendy.
yeah, but this is not.
We tried to
happening
make
'cause
this
you don't
easy for
wanna-
you and make one
you don't wanna do
request,
it.
but now we need every form attached with the welfare system. Every one of them.
Yeah, just send us all of them. 'Cause
Yeah.
That's probably
If we need more than one copy of
I'm gonna
one,
go ahead and talk to the Ajax office to see how I can get your file up and running.
yeah, see, she's avoiding
If
the
I can
issue.
find forms, I will find you the forms.
Okay, can I trade the current money on my account for all forms regulated by that office? So that means all the money on my card that's active, I'll just trade that for an email transfer of all forms regulated by that office. And I'm using appropriate language conduct. Very sophisticated stuff. You don't get this from your average welfare tender. Or I don't have right to any of those forms. If I don't have any right to those forms, then they would not be sent. Are you going to accept the request or deny the request? Do you have the authority to make decisions on that? If not, you need to transfer us to a supervisor that has that authority to send us all regulated forms by the office. Do you have the authority to send off blank paperwork? All forms regulated by the welfare office. Do you have that authority to send off blank paperwork? All forms regulated by the welfare office. Yes or no?
Yes, can you answer the question?
Answer the question! Answer the question!
Do you have that
Do
authority?
you have that authority to send blank forms regulated by the welfare office? I did not swear.
Do you have that authority, Wendy?
It's a yes or no question. You went through several months of training. Do you have the authority to send off blank? No! I just assume that you're not hearing me, and it's a mumble, so I'm very loud and clear.
Wendy, do you have that authority? Simple question, please. I would like to get off the call as well. Do you have it, yes or no?
I guess that's a no.
Fucking good.